Everybody, so today is going to be a working in the garden kind of day. Getting ready to actually head to the store with the girls to buy some more soil. I've up potted everything I can currently up pot with the soil we already had and some rabbit manure. The girls are actually going to be cleaning out the rabbit cages some more today to get more rabbit manure for fertilizer. But I wanted to talk a little bit about the plants that we're going to be working on today and kind of what we've been doing in the garden already. To give you guys a better idea. Okay, so these are some of the plants that have been up potted into larger pots. Some of these I will say I bought from the store, like all these peppers I bought from the store. Those tomatoes though were started from seed. Cilantro I bought from the store. Some of these plants I had seeds. So I had actually which one is it? This one right here. This jalapeno plant right here, actually, I started from seed. But unfortunately, a lot of my seeds were too old, and so I had to go to the store and buy some of the plants that I didn't have seeds for. But as you can see here, this is dill. So basically, this is how all my plants started. They started in a seed tray like this, with numbers on it, so I knew what plants I'm working with, and then they got moved up. They typically would get moved up to, I guess this is about a half-gallon pot right here. And then they move up to a larger pot. And then some of them, like the tomatoes, got moved up to a pot like this size or even this size. The tomatoes I have out there right now. But ultimately, they'll end up in pots more this size. So these are 30-gallon pots. And you can see I have 2 zucchini plants in this one. And then I have 2 pepper plants in each of those. I found last year I had 3 pepper plants in my cowlick containers, and it actually worked out really nicely. They were kind of close together, obviously. They're not super far apart, but it made it really easy pollination for the bees and whatnot. And so I had like a bajillion peppers last year, so I'm kind of replicating that now, but since I'm in smaller containers, I'm only doing 2. And I have six pepper plants. I have 2 more over here that I need to up pot. They're going to go into that pot. But just kind of see how it does this year in this way. And I know like zucchini and squash plants you're supposed to have further separated out. But the ones in the other containers, those over there that have like 3 in them, they're doing just fine. So I only have 2 in this one. So we'll see. It's kind of an experiment. We only have so many containers, but we have a big family to feed. So we kind of got to figure out our spacing and everything like that. So the tomatoes are going to actually get up potted to these pots. They're not 30-gallon. My husband would know what size these are because these are actually pots from his dad's landscaping company. Maybe 15-gallon. They're about half the size of the other ones. But you can see they're pretty big. Here's a 5-gallon bucket next to it. So they're definitely wider than the 5-gallon bucket. Not quite as deep. Maybe they're only, 5-gallon. I don't know. But that's what the tomatoes are going to go into. And that's going to be basically their final plant or final planting spot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the tomato and actually just plant it towards the bottom. Because as we know with tomatoes, you're supposed to plant them like basically when you get them in their final stage, 2/3 of the way in. This is obviously not 2/3. But what I've been doing with these tomato plants to make a good root system is I have been, basically when I had them in this level, they got to so tall, and then I up potted them to a small, not this size pot, but a smaller pot. And then I up potted them here, and each time I've buried them a little bit in the dirt so that they have more root mass. You can see this one is leaning some. It's going to need a trellis here soon, but I'm also going to plant it into a bigger pot so that it'll start having roots, coming out here versus all the way down here. Last year I didn't do that. New tomato gardener. I didn't realize you're supposed to plant them further down to get roots, more roots, and my tomato plants were falling over like crazy. So I definitely want to make sure they get plenty of roots this year. And so far none of them are producing tomatoes. So I don't have to worry about knocking anything off when I up pot them. I want to make sure they're in their final pots before they start producing fruit. So that's it, guys. We have 13 tomato plants, several different types of herbs growing. We have 6 green peppers, 6 jalapenos, 6 banana peppers, I think 8 or so squash plants, 7 cucumber plants, 9 scarlet runner beans, about 8 onions, a whole bunch of potatoes, just a bunch of stuff, guys. We got a bunch of stuff in pots, zucchinis, and we'll see how we're doing. So far, like I said, the squash is doing really well. I've already picked 10 off in the last week, and we already have some banana peppers growing. There's a little one back there too, and then we have starting to get some like jalapenos and stuff like that growing, and then we even have buds here on the green peppers. So things are growing. If you guys do have any questions about container gardening, please feel free to ask, and I'll be happy to answer them. But for now, hope you all have a great day. Bye.